When you find leading lines that frame an interesting subject in beautiful light, your head explodes, your eyes fall out. Mr. Kodak comes and he turns your camera into gold and gives you the key to the factory. It's what drives everybody to continue this thing of failure. Last fall, I went on a trip throughout Europe and Asia with the pure goal of photographing everything that the light touches. I was shooting both digital and 35mm film on my Nikon F3, this pretty little baby. If you've been following the channel for a while, you might have seen along the way I was releasing videos from the trip, but I could only include digital imagery. But this time, I'm having a sweet, sweet release of pure analog 35mm film. First stop, Italy. Spent about 20 days bouncing around central and northern Italy with a good mix of major cities and some smaller towns sprinkled in. I wobbled down cobblestone streets, I swam in ancient seas. I ended up replacing multiple quarts of my blood with the oils from an olive's virginity. For the sake of this retelling video, I decided to focus on some compositional concepts that I noticed while going through all of these 35mm photos. Just simple things that I realized were triggering me to lift my camera and take a photo. So let's get into it. One of the first things I noticed when going through all these photos was the concept of leading lines. As someone who struggles with being stupid, I can attest that we like to be told what to do, where to go, and where to look. This is where leading lines come in. Things like walls, sidewalks, waterways, the horizon. Using natural occurring lines in an environment is a great way to direct the viewer's eyes to where you want them to look, whether it be a subject or just to balance out an image. Going along with the idea of utilizing natural lines in an environment brings us to our next concept, which is using frames. I search for frames in street photography all the time. It's a great way to not only add depth and contrast to an image, but to isolate a subject. In general, the more depth you can add to an image, the more it feels lived in, the more that whoever's looking at it feels inside of the image, rather than just staring at a 2D flimsy postcard. Finding a natural frame within your images frame is a great way to add a frame and make your image frame-tastic to add more frame. T-shirt idea. David's hand touching God's hand. Reads, "I got touched at the Vatican." And that brings me to the next thing that I noticed in some of these photographs, which is something that, as a photographer, everyone's drawn to: natural light. Now, obviously, light is huge when it comes to making those images that really stick with you and give you chills and make you want to grab a stranger and just give them a kiss. It's what every decent photographer is drawn to, and it can literally make or break your images. A beautiful scene can easily fall flat if the lighting is wrong. On the other hand, a mediocre scene is always boosted by decent lighting. And Italy is full of beautiful light. If I'm out and I see interesting light play, I automatically raise my lens. And just don't Google interesting light play to raise my lens, because you won't get the results that you're looking for. The other thing that good lighting can do is add depth. Contrast between light and dark, sun and shadows creates dynamics that you can't replicate any other way. Also, before you go buy a new lens because you think that the one you own isn't sharp enough, go test it in really good lighting. Most of the time when you see a very sharp image, it's because of the lighting, it's not because of the lens. This is why really top-level photographers constantly tell you you don't need all the latest gear to get these photos. You need the natural thing that we're all searching for, which is beautiful lighting. I bet if you go back and you look at the photographs that you really love of any photographer ever, you're gonna realize that all those photographs have really good lighting. last thing that always draws me into making a photo is people. People are obviously great subjects for photographs. They have been since the dawn of time. People are interesting. People do interesting things, and that automatically makes your photographs interesting. It's almost like a cheat code. Now, I know a lot of photographers, especially if you're just starting out or you haven't done a lot of street photography, you're probably pretty hesitant to just go out and photograph strangers. I get it. But in a place like Italy that's heavily trafficked by tourists, all having their own cameras and photographing all the time, it's a great place to start without being super on the spot and being super noticed. The locals are so used to seeing dum-dums with cameras that you can just act like a dum-dum with a camera or just be yourself. I started doing street photography like a lot of street photographers when I was on vacation. When I was going on trips, that's what sparked it. Everything's new, everything's interesting, and everybody has a camera. So it's not so out of the norm as opposed to going, on your main street in your small town and photographing the mailman. You're gonna go a little more unnoticed, and the people in those areas that are used to tourists and are used to people, they're not gonna care as much. Photography is about documenting your surroundings, and in a place like Italy, your surroundings are so unique and interesting and full of unique and interesting characters. Both locals and the visitors are wearing their most unique outfits. They're having unique interactions through language barriers and new culture exposure and all of these things. It's a perfect place to jump into street photography. The key to all of this is to combine all of these concepts into one great photograph. And that's kind of the point. Everybody is just searching for one great photograph. It's really all you can ask for. When you find leading lines that frame an interesting subject in beautiful light, your head explodes, your eyes fall out. Mr. Kodak comes and he turns your camera into gold and gives you the key to the factory. It's what drives everybody to continue this thing of failure. Most of photography is taking 36 images and hoping for maybe one that you can go, oh my God, I want to show this to somebody else. So I hope you enjoyed this retelling of an Italian job on 35mm film. Check out the previous videos where they're kind of broken up city by city. So go ahead and click the subscribe button, hit the like button, head over to the Instagram, hit the follow button, go to the Patreon, subscribe to the photo print subscription, go to my Substack, read about my stupid thoughts, come to my house, sleep in my bed, be my best friend. Bye.